Jurassic Park cold open. A worker at the park is getting killed by a raptor, and it leads to concerns with the legality and safety of the park. To ease investors, John Hammond, the creator, brings on Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, paleontologists. And for Donald Gennaro, a lawyer/inspector, brings on Ian Malcolm, a chaos theorist, and a stud. They're all flown out to the island of Isla Nublar to check out the park. On the way to the main center, they're stopped by the first dinosaur, the Bronto, and they also find out about the T-Rex. On the tour of the park, they are shown how the dinosaurs are made from ancient DNA and newer DNA. After finding out how the dinosaurs are made, Ian becomes very skeptical, and the group discusses it over dinner. And with a surprise, even Alan and Ellie are pretty against this idea of this park. But time for the cool stuff, the dino tour. John Hammond's grandkids also join along for the tour. They ride around for a while, not seeing a thing, except for a sick Triceratops that Ellie will stay to study. We also get word about a storm quickly approaching the island, and most of the workers are leaving the island for the safety purposes. And to make it worse for our group of characters, right as they're stopped at the T-Rex exhibit, we have a saboteur! An InGen worker by the name of Dennis Nedry. Fueled by greed, he goes and turns off all of the power, so no one can detect that he is stealing dinosaur DNA to sell to other companies. With power being shut down means those protective fences are turned off, and now the island is now a deadly dino playground. Started with the T-Rex freeing itself and attacking the group, which leads to two separate groups, Alan and the kids, and Ellie, Ian, and Hammond. What about the lawyer, you ask? He's dead. Now that they're split up, Alan gets beautiful character growth, but also finds out that Ian Malcolm was actually right. Life did find a way. Due to the certain type of frog DNA that they used for the dinosaurs, they were able to change their own sex and begin breeding without anyone ever knowing. Anyways, Ellie's group is in charge of the power, and after worker Ray Arnold fails and doesn't return, Ellie and Raptor Watcher Robert Muldoon go to fix things and find Ray, which he does both of those things, but it's a little too late for Ray. And Robert wasn't so lucky either. Now with everything on the loose, the groups are back together and have to survive against being hunted by the raptors. When it all seems lost, the T-Rex out of nowhere saves the day and the group escapes, and that concludes Jurassic Park. Isla Sorna, another dino island. Our first shot is a young girl surviving a compy attack, but this incident would lead to the family suing InGen. InGen now under the leadership of Peter Ludlow. Peter Ludlow plans to steal dinosaurs from the island to then bring to San Diego to start his own Jurassic Park to alleviate all the legal fines that InGen has acquired. Woo! Ian Malcolm's back! He was called upon by John Hammond. He wants him and a team of people to document the dinosaurs on Isla Sorna to get public feedback that the dinosaurs should just be left alone. Ian, of course, after the incident that happened 4 years ago on Isla Nublar, is apprehensive before he finds out that his girlfriend is on the island and is a part of that team. So reluctantly he joins and meets his other teammates and makes his way to the island. They quickly locate Sarah. They also find out that Ian Malcolm's daughter somehow snuck onto the car and is now on the island with them. They soon realize that another team is also going to be with them on the island. This team, however, was sent by Peter Ludlow. It's a group of paleontologists, mercenaries, and just scientists. And also Peter Ludlow. They immediately land and begin capturing dinosaurs. Ian's group quickly finds out about this, scopes them out during the night, and all hell breaks loose as Sarah and Nick start freeing all the dinosaurs and the baby T-Rex that lead mercenary Roland Tembo captured previously in the movie. Now the T-Rex is with the main group, and Ian knows that's a bad idea, so he gets Kelly to safely as quickly as possible, but he goes back down to assist the others. But in the exact moment he gets down there, the both adolescent T-Rexes are there for the baby. They calmly give it back, but the T-Rexes aren't having it and still attack the group. In the last second, Eddie comes down in the car to try and save the group, but is unable to do so as he is chomped apart by the two adult T-Rexes. The trailer and the car both fall over the ledge. Ian, Sarah, and Nick are saved by a little rope though, however, and then are rescued by the other InGen team. Now with both groups out of literally everything, they have to band together to find a very old research station to call for help. But this wasn't without many troubles. The T-Rexes find the new camp with everyone in it and start just going crazy. And if that wasn't bad enough, if the T-Rex didn't get you, being in the tall grass, the raptors got you. They do make it to the research station and are able to call for help. While the main group is evading the raptors and calling for help, Roland Tembo is off doing a side quest tranquilizing one of the adolescent T-Rexes. The group is rescued, but it's not for long. The ship holding the T-Rex and the baby T-Rex completely crashes. Everyone on board is somehow dead. One of the guards accidentally opens the door for the T-Rex, and now the T-Rex is out on the loose. Ian and Sarah then have to rescue the baby T-Rex from the brand new Jurassic Park and use that to guide the T-Rex back to the ship. They are successful in luring it back to the ship with the casualty, but it's okay. America and Puerto Rican government both come to an agreement that Isla Sorna and Isla Nublar need to be left alone. But with that, the Lost World is over. A boy named Eric goes parasliding with his stepdad near the island of Isla Sorna. After a mysterious accident, the people controlling the boat are dead, and Ben, the stepdad, has no choice but to cut the line, and they start gliding towards the island. After what happened on Isla Nublar, Dr. Grant is now quite famous. Ellie Sattler settled down and married a federal agent. This will come back later. We then meet Grant's assistant, Billy, who shows us the latest 3D modeling technology. They're then interrupted by Paul and Amanda Kirby, two very wealthy adventurers looking to explore the dinosaur islands. Alan is desperate for money to fund his research, so he reluctantly agrees to guide the Kirbys. They then fly to Isla Sorna. After Alan discovers that they're trying to land the plane, he freaks out and is forcibly knocked out. As he wakes, they're on the island, and we get to see our first dinosaur, the Spinosaurus, baby. Everyone rushes back onto the plane except for Cooper. He is then chomped by it, and the plane crashes into the fin of the Spinosaurus, crashing into the trees. But the Spinosaurus isn't done after the crash. He eats another mercenary named Nash. There was a bit of a tussle, and they luckily escape, but they run into the T-Rex. And then a dino fight, baby! T-Rex versus Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus, of course, winning and snapping the motherfucker's neck. Grant demanding the truth from the Kirbys, finding out that they're just kind of average people. They're not even together anymore. They're just looking for Eric, the son at the start. They then later find the paracel, Ben, still hanging from it, a barren corpse, but Eric is nowhere to be seen. The group then encounters raptor nests. Unknowing to the group, Billy will pocket some of the eggs though. They then find an abandoned facility, and this is where they're ambushed by the raptors. The last mercenary is then killed by one of the raptors. Alan Grant is also separated from the group, but he's luckily saved by who? Eric! How this kid lived for so long doesn't make sense anyways. But Dr. Grant and Eric team up. They meet up with the other group, but they're found by the Spinosaurus as well. Spinosaurus then chases them, but the group is able to escape into a little pterodon observatory. Dr. Grant finds out what Billy did. Eric is snatched away by one of the pterodons, but feeling down, Billy makes the sacrifice play to go save Eric, and is then killed by the pterodons. Now the group being very thin, they find a boat and start sailing down the river to make it to the ocean for safety. On their journey, they find the phone and then contacts Ellie for a rescue mission. They then get interrupted by the Spinosaurus, but Grant quickly sets the boat on fire and it discourages the Spinosaurus. But they're not out of the water yet. Just as they're about to make it to the shoreline, they get surrounded by the raptors. But they still have the eggs from before. They peacefully give the eggs back, and Dr. Grant uses the 3D printed raptor thing to confuse the raptors, and they just kind of leave. They flee to the coast after that, and they find that Ellie Sattler used her husband's connections to call the US Navy. Oh, and hey, Billy's alive. And with that, the crew is saved, and that's the end of Jurassic Park 3. We only fucked this up once. What could go wrong making it a second time? Do you boys want to go to Jurassic World because we're getting a divorce? You betcha! We're back on Isla Nublar with our two main kid characters, Gray and Zach, two brothers. After what happens in the other movies, the InGen Corporation gets kind of bought out by a new corporation called the Maserani Corporation. Founder, Simon Maserani. But we do still see a familiar face in Dr. Henry Wu. He was in the first movie. Another newcomer is Claire Deering. She's the neglectful aunt to the boys. We also got badass Owen Grady. You know he's a badass because he trains raptors. Maserani has Owen check out the newest attraction, the Indominus Rex. Owen shines light on how keeping the Indominus by itself in captivity is probably it's not going to work out. In that same scene, it seems like the Indominus Rex has vanished. One of the capabilities the Indominus Rex has, though, is the ability to camouflage itself while also getting rid of all heat signatures. So while Owen and two other guards go in to check it out, the Indominus pops back up and eats two of the other guys, Owen narrowly escaping. Now Owen sees the threat in such an animal. He's in the side to get rid of it, while Maserani still thinks that they can capture it. So he sends out basically a SWAT team, and yeah, it doesn't go so well. Where are the boys? Well, they're at a gyrosphere, and they decide to go to a restricted area. But unlucky for them, that's where the Indominus Rex is. After they get attacked by the Indominus, they manage to stumble into the original Jurassic Park Observatory and are able to jumpstart an old Jeep. Another unlucky, Claire and Owen are right behind them. The Indominus Rex is right with them, and they barely escape. Masrani, trying to be a hero, flies a helicopter with a couple armed soldiers to try and take out the Indominus Rex. Unfortunately, the Indominus Rex runs into a pterodon, a bunch of bird dinosaur observatory, and they all roam free into the park, and Masrani dies. Now they're in the park. Zara, the boys' babysitter, gets swept up by one of the pterodons and dropped into the Mosasaurus's mouth! No time for that, badass Owen's here to save the day. After the clusterfuck there, the lamest Jurassic World villain, Vic Hoskins, takes over control after Masrani's death, and he weaponizes the raptors to try and go take on the Indominus Rex. Unlucky for the group, though, these raptors are intelligent, man, we've known this, so they start communicating with the Indominus Rex, who is now the alpha. Now the raptors and the Indominus Rex are working together and just start killing everyone. After seeing his plan fail, Vic Hoskins quickly tells Henry Wu to get off the island and starts storing away all the DNA. Unlucky for him, though, one of the raptors aren't having it and mauls him to death. Owen then regains his bond with the raptors, and the raptors fight against the Indominus Rex, which doesn't go very good, so Claire has no choice but to release the T-Rex. Sick-ass dino fight. Unfortunately, the T-Rex loses, but Blue, the lonely survivor of the raptors, is back. The Indominus pushed to the edge, gets absolutely decimated by the Mosasaurus, and Isla Nublar is back to just being a dino island. This movie sucks. Anyways, a small group of mercenaries go back to Isla Nublar to retrieve a piece of the Indominus Rex. This plan, however, doesn't go so well, getting interrupted by the Mosasaurus and the T-Rex. They do make it out, however. A Senate hearing with the GOAT Ian Malcolm discusses if the dinosaurs should be saved from an impending doom. Ian puts it simply, they need to be left alone. We need to correct what John Hammond should not have started. Claire's back. She's an office worker. It's a whole advocate for dinosaur life. She gets invited out to the Lockwood estate, where she's told about a plan from Lockwood's aide. It's basically, we want to save dinosaurs and put them on a forever home. And they really want Blue. Claire recruits a party of people. The GOAT Owen Grady, forgettable Franklin Webb, and also forgettable Zaya Rodriguez. And Eli Miles, the aide, sends out a mercenary team to help them. After a big scuffle, Blue gets shot, Owen gets tranked, a big old thing happens on the island, but most of the dinosaurs are left to die. They're able to tend to Blue's wounds using T-Rex blood, and they obviously figure out that these dinosaurs are not meant for what they were told they were meant for. Back at the Lockwood estate, Lockwood's granddaughter, Maisie, finds out about the actual plan. The plan is that they're gonna sell these dinosaurs to the black market. They will also reveal their brand new dinosaur, the Indoraptor. This Indoraptor, however, is a prototype made by Dr. Wu. Blue's DNA is the key thing to make it the best it can be. After Maisie reveals what's really going on, Lockwood talks to Eli about what's going on, and Eli literally just flat out kills him in his own home. Maisie later finds out that she was a human clone made by Lockwood and Hammond. God, this movie fucking sucks. The ship has made it to the Lockwood estate. The two nobodies somehow made it past, but obviously the main characters get found out pretty quickly and are captured. Owen, quick thinking, uses a dinosaur to break open the door. After being freed, they find Maisie in a little compartment, and Maisie will then take them to the auction house where the Indoraptor is being showed on full display. In all the chaos, the main mercenary, he's just Tembo. This is the Lost World, guys. Why are we watching this? Anyways, he tranks the Indoraptor. The Indoraptor is really smart and fakes it and kills the mercenary and a bunch of other people. Now with the Indoraptor being completely free, it starts hunting down Owen, Claire, and Maisie. Zia, though, releases Blue, leading to their final bout where the Indoraptor falls on a Triceratops skull and impaling the Indoraptor to death. Movie's not over, though. After a hydrogen leak that's gonna kill every single dinosaur goes off, Maisie pushes the button to release all the dinosaurs to the dismay of Owen. The dinosaurs now run free. Eli, not getting too lucky, gets chomped by the T-Rex before every dinosaur flees off into the forest. As Ian Malcolm puts it, we're in a new age. The human now has to live in an era where human and dinosaur both walk the earth. Fuck This movie, 4 years after the Lockwood incident, humans and dinosaurs now live openly. It's kind of a problem, but hey, Claire and Owen are a thing now. They foster parents to Maisie, who then gets kidnapped by some mercenaries. Franklin from Fallen Kingdom now works for it's like basically the FBI and tells them that they're probably taking her to Malta. Before we could get too into this plot, the Locust plot is also in this movie. This is how we get introduced back into Ellie Sattler from the original movie. She's looking into a type of locust that is destroying crops that don't use biosyn seeds. She takes the locust to her good old buddy Alan Grant, also from the original movie, to check it out. Back to the Owen plot, they sneak into a black market for dinosaurs and find out that Maisie is being transported to the Biosyn headquarters. A sympathetic pilot agrees to take them to the Biosyn area. Ian Malcolm, now working for Biosyn, invites Ellie and Alan to help him out to stop Dodson. Dodson is just doing illegal activity and he's forcing Dr. Henry Rue to basically help him. Dodson wants to use these locusts so that the only food source is coming from Biosyn. It is Biosyn. Henry Rue does tell him that that's obviously a terrible idea and the world will go into a fucking crisis. We also get more of a backstory for the whole Maisie being a clone thing, but it's exactly how I felt in the other movie. I don't care. This plot goes nowhere. Owen, Claire, and the pilot then get attacked by some Quetzalcoatls crashing into the sanctuary. Owen and the pilot crashing into a frozen lake, Claire getting launched into a jungle. After a couple dinosaur encounters, the group eventually meets back up. Ian and Ian's assistant guide Ellie and Alan to the locusts where they are able to retrieve evidence of what Biosyn is doing. Dodson, now knowing that they have been breached, he attempts to burn all evidence relating to the locusts. Some of the locusts are able to escape, however, and set ablaze to the sanctuary. Alan and Ellie and Maisie barely escape, but they are able to get the DNA sample and meet up with Ian. And they also get to meet up with a new group from Jurassic World. The group unknowingly caused the death of Dodson to a group of Dilophosauruses. The group then find Blue's baby Beta and narrowly escape a giant dinosaur fight and make it back home. Ellie and Alan finally becoming a couple, and they also both testify in court against Biosyn together. Very cute. Owen, Claire, and Maisie return home and deliver Beta back to Blue. So we're back to the start of the movie, basically. Humans and dinosaurs walk again, and it's like we didn't need this movie at all. A breath of fresh air, man. I'm gonna say, I really enjoy this movie. A pharmaceutical company launches a high-risk mission. Their goal: collect DNA from 3 massive dinosaur species. 1 on land, 1 at sea, and 1 in the air. They believe that these samples will cure for a very deadly heart disease. The main badass on the team is Zora Bennett, a field operative. She's joined by Duncan Kincaid, whose job is just managing all logistics, and Dr. Henry Loomis, the paleontologist, who understands the dinosaurs better than anyone. Their destination is Ile Saint-Hubert, a forbidden island once used by InGen for secret genetic experiments. I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. This is very fucking cool. A new island. It's not Isla Nublar or Isla Snorna. Fucking finally! On the way, they encounter a civilian family, the Delgados, whose boat had been attacked by an aquatic dinosaur. Zora decides to rescue them, bringing them along to the island for safety. The island turns out to be far more dangerous than expected. The team's first target is the Mosasaurus, one of the largest ocean predators still alive. After a tense underwater operation, they successfully extract a blood sample and secure it in a containment. This completes the sea portion of the mission, except they get jumped by some Spinos! Oh my god, I'm gonna geek out again, ladies and gentlemen. The Spinos are quadriplegic. They're a walk on all fours, and they walk on land. It kills one of them because he's a paleontologist, and he doesn't know they can walk on land. Anyways, the next mission. The second target, the land dinosaur, the Titanosaurus, one of the largest land animals ever created by InGen. The team navigates through dense jungle and manages to secure the second sample. Now for the last mission. The team climbs into cliffs to reach a Quetzalcoatlus nest. one of the largest flying animals in history. They managed to obtain a genetic sample from an egg, but a full-size Quetz returns early and it attacks the group, swallowing one of the members whole. This loss raises tension and doubt, but the mission must continue. With all 3 DNA sources obtained, they attempt to regroup with the Delgados and evacuate. The team soon discovers the island holds more than surviving dinosaurs. It contains mutated dinosaurs created in abandoned labs. The D-Rex, a massive, malformed T-Rex variant. And the Mutodons, it's a hybrid between a raptor and a pterosaur. Zoro's group and the Delgados reach the old InGen research facility where a helicopter is waiting, but the D-Rex ambushes them, destroying their escape route. The corporate representative, Martin Gribbs, tries to flee on his home, but he is killed by the D-Rex while attempting to escape. Realizing someone must slow the creature down, Duncan sacrifices himself, drawing the D-Rex away with a flare, while the others escape on foot toward the coastline. The remaining survivors, Zora, Henry, and the Delgado family, reach a boat and escape the island. Later, Zora and Henry agree the DNA samples should not be used for profit. Instead, any medical breakthrough created from dinosaur genetics must remain unpatented, open, and shared, so that treatment can be benefited for everyone, not just those who can afford it. The film closes with humanity still living in a world reshaped by dinosaurs and now shaped by their genetics as well. Oh, and Duncan's alive. I see you, Jurassic Park. Yeah, I see you pulling a JP3. Fucking stupid. Well, that's the end of the Jurassic Park franchise for now. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. I would love to hear what you guys think about the Jurassic Park franchise. Me personally, I think it falls off at World and then picked straight back up with Rebirth. I know it has its problems, but honestly, I really like the movie. I can't hate it, man. I just love seeing dinosaurs. But as always, make sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.